Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Late Tea Time Podcast is back with you because we have another major just around the corner. We're recording this on Sunday, so the prices are around about right at the time of recording. But a few days to go before they tee off on Thursday. But it is Quail Hollow. It is the US PGA Championship. I am James Buttler, and alongside me, Dave Tindall. DT, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, James.
And looking forward to this because obviously we're one major down in 2025 and 3 to go. And we have, interestingly, I think, 2 joint favourites because usually, or in the last number of majors, Scottie Scheffler has been so far ahead of everybody else that he's been so short at the top end of the markets. But both Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler are priced at 5 to 1, DT. Does that surprise you?
Kind of not, because I think there was a feeling. There's 2 things about this. I think there was a feeling when Rory won his next major after that, 11-year gap, brilliant win at the Masters. That could open the door for some more, kind of got the monkey off his back. So there's that element. Will Rory now burst, have another burst of majors? The second element, we're at Quail Hollow. Rory McIlroy has won there 4 times. That's his course. Scheffler's never even played the course competitively. So, Rory's got a big leg up in that sense. And I think the key, we have had a PGA here before, but it was held in August when the PGA used to be held as the last major. This one, of course, is in May, which is when Rory played the regular Quail Hollow event there. So form should translate better than it did to the August one. So yeah, I'm not surprised really to see them kind of neck and neck.
Well, the top 4 in the market, Rory McIlroy 5 to 1, Scottie 5 to 1, as we've said. Bryson de Chambeau, who I noticed you did for Betfair, you did your piece, didn't you? The trends piece, and Bryson scored the most on that.
Yeah.
You basically are kind of leaning towards him potentially. He's 12 to 1. Justin Thomas is 20 to 1, and he's won there before as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he won these US PGA there in August 2017. He's won another US PGA since then. So this is his tournament, Justin Thomas, and of course he won at Hilton Head. I got another player who was due a win, got a win. So, yeah, those top 4, strong claims for all 4 of them, to be honest. So,
because Justin Thomas is back to form, he's got a win under his belt.
Yeah, as I said, yeah.
So, I mean, are we looking beyond that top 4 then? If we're looking for a good bet for the winner in the winner market, maybe not even looking out each way. Are we looking at Rory, Scottie, Bryson and Justin, or is there anybody else that comes into the mix?
Well, I think there's a big chance the winner, you've just named the winner in that 4, because not so skill, I have to say. Yeah, just by reading out names. Because
I could name everybody playing, and I'm bound to get it.
Because major winners, they tend to do their major winning in bunches, and, Scheffler's had a couple of Masters in the last few years, so it's his time maybe. Rory's back winning them again. De Chambeau has won a couple of US Opens in the last 5 years. So all 3 of those, the top 3, you could say, well, this is their time again. Thomas won one in 2022. Maybe Thomas, he's the biggest price of the 4. If you're looking for just how do I separate those 4, go with the biggest price, maybe with Justin Thomas. But I think all 4 have got really strong claims.
Well, obviously I want Rory to win because I've got that bet that we have, as we took out before the Masters, of Rory to win 3 or more majors in 2025. 1 down, 3 still to play. So come on, Rory. So I won't be backing Rory this week because I've already got him in. If you had to pick one, then which one are you going to take?
I think I would go with de Chambeau. I just think this course, it's a long course. It's going to set up long. Just the way he's playing. He won on LIV for the first time this year, just a couple of weeks ago. I just think maybe this is the tournament he should win with his skill set, his big hitting, and his strong all-round game. I think I'd just go with him. I think there's still going to be, the focus is still always going to be on Rory a lot, and then Scheffler as, the world number 1. I just think de Chambeau, this might just be a great chance for him to slip in. He's played the course a couple of times, top 10 both times. So there's a lot pointing to de Chambeau, I think.
Another thing in his favour potentially, because he is a massively hard worker, isn't he? He tinkers with his game. He puts probably more hours of practice in than anybody. After the Masters, where he came close but didn't play his best golf, he would have gone away from that initially disappointed, but he might have thought, well, actually, it was only really 6 out of 10 all week, and yet I got really close to winning the thing. If I had to do a lot of work, I could actually get across the line next time.
Yeah, I mean, the story was Rory's story, wasn't it? But for a while on that Sunday, de Chambeau thought, well, he's going to be the one to come through, and he briefly, had the lead. So yeah, as you say, he's not rested on his laurels. He's since come back, got a win. So I just think maybe the timing's right for him.
Bryson de Chambeau then 12-1. You can get him at pre-tournament prices. Bryson de Chambeau, Dave Tindall's pick. If we go a little bit further down, am I right in saying this? And I am no expert. You're the expert on this podcast. But just my kind of like floaty knowledge, without doing any research whatsoever, the US PGA, I think, has been won by people who aren't necessarily the fancy. We've had kind of winners from lower down, maybe. Am I wrong? You can tell me I'm wrong.
Maybe historically. I do know 9 of the last 10, and all of the last 9 were Americans.
Okay.
So that's a pointer, I think. I don't quite know why that is. They tend to say this is the major that's most like a normal PGA Tour event. So maybe Americans just feel extra confident in that environment. But yeah, I think down the years you tend to find a player who's already won that season. But I think the top end is so heavy this year. I think it might be quite hard for someone to kind of break that stranglehold.
If there was somebody that is a slightly bigger price than the top 4 that we've talked about already on this podcast, is there anybody there that maybe you think, he's decent price for what he can do?
Yeah, the one I quite like at a massive price. I don't know if he'll win, but it's
massive price.
A massive price, I would say. You might have to do some scrolling down here.
I'm pressing down
to find him. Yeah. Patrick Reed.
Yes, I've got him. He's best price of 80.
Yeah, Patrick Reed. I mean, a really good Masters. He's playing really well on the LIV Tour at the minute. Then you look at his form at this course. He was runner-up or tied second when it was the 2017 US PGA held there in August. And he's also played the regular event at Quail Hollow and done well there as well, top 10 a couple of times. So he's got course form, current form, always good in the majors. And I don't quite know why he's underrated. I mean, he's won the Masters.
Is it out of sight, out of mind a little bit?
Possibly, yeah. But I think he's still a prominent player, Captain America and all that in a Ryder Cup. So I think he's been undervalued, Patrick Reed. So I think he's a good each way shout.
I think a few people out there alongside me had some joy at the Masters, backing both Patrick Reed and Rory. So maybe it's a time to go again.
Maybe again. I do quite like the idea that once you play well in a major, then that will continue through that year. So, Rory and Patrick Reed, as you said, did really well at Augusta. I think more the same here.
Patrick Reed, then 80-1. He's the outside pick on the Late Tea Time podcast. Top LIV player then. We've already mentioned a couple. Bryson de Chambeau, obviously one of your picks at the top end of the betting. Patrick Reed, obviously another LIV player. Are they the two to back? Are they the ones to look at, or is there anybody else maybe?
Yeah, I would look at those two. The other one I think might have a shout is Tyrrell Hatton.
Yeah.
Again, he was good at the Masters. I didn't quite see it through. He sort of fell away on Sunday, but he's someone who's got the profile to win a major. I know everyone focuses on his kind of expletives and
this is the sort of major he'd win, though.
Getting hot-headed, but yeah, that's a red herring, I think. I think he's got the quality, he's got the game. He's won this year in Dubai at the start of the year. He's played well in majors before, including this one. Yeah, so Tyrrell Hatton in the top LIV market, although, as you've said, de Chambeau and Reed will be up against him there. But Tyrrell Hatton, yeah, various markets, I think he's the LIV player that I would look at. The fascinating one is Joaquin Niemann, because
he was massively fancied ahead of the match.
Yeah.
He really didn't do a lot, did he?
Yeah, he sort of picks up trophies for fun on the LIV Tour, and here we go. A big hitting youngster, which is always a good thing for USPGA when it tends to be. And yet he's not at a top 10 in a major, which is just crazy, but it'll happen. So it's whether you want to anticipate it happening or whether you wanted to see him get one in and then back him. but he's got a chance.
With Tyrrell Hatton, I think his expletives, these little tantrums that he has, but apparently off the course, he's a really amiable kind of.
Yeah.
But on the course, it kind of maybe bubbles over a little bit. But I do a lot of tennis, and in tennis, the players that kind of let out the massive screams and stuff, they do it for a reason.
Yeah.
Their psychologists tell them, get rid of that nastiness and then
Yeah.
concentrate on the next point. Maybe that's kind of what Tyrrell Hatton does in a way, maybe by accident, but maybe.
Yeah, he knows he's doing it. He's quite self-deprecating about it all. So I don't think it's a problem. He's got the game to win. He's proven that he can win at all levels. Just needs to take this final step to win at this level. But yeah, he's a great player.
Well, Tyrrell Hatton in the market ahead of kickoff, so to speak, is quite a big price as well. There we go. 50 to 1 best price for Tyrrell Hatton ahead of the USPGA. USPGA then on Thursday. We've gone through the top end of the markets. We've picked an outside and we've looked at the top LIV player as well. What about a top European, Dave Tindall?
Yeah, so McIlroy and Hatton we've mentioned. McIlroy's got a great chance. Tyrrell Hatton we like in various markets each way in the LIV as well. The other one, I think, is Tommy Fleetwood.
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing Bob Bubka, Tommy Fleetwood. That's how it sounds. It's very, once you've got that in your head, you can't stop saying it in that fashion. He's come close, hasn't he, in so many majors, Tommy Fleetwood. Contended deep into them. Some on American soil. He's obviously done it in the Open Championship as well. Yet to win on US turf, but maybe he's saving himself to actually, when it happens, it's going to be a major.
He's been doing some work with the commentator fellow, hasn't he? The old American commentator, I can't remember his name, which is really bad because he's a very famous one. He's always turns up at the Masters.
Right.
And he's very good. Always on the TV coverage.
Right.
Silver hairs, the one. Coaches people.
Coaches people.
Yeah. And he was working with Tommy Fleetwood at the Masters.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Butch Harmon.
Yes, that's a good one, honestly.
I thought you were coming up with some different.
No, one of the most famous commentators and coaches that there is. But yeah, he's been working with Tommy Fleetwood, and you could tell on the commentary that Butch Harmon was kind of maybe a little bit disappointed with the kind of results at the Masters. He wasn't quite on it, was he? But maybe he's had a few more weeks since the Masters to get it together.
Yeah, he's playing well in he's played well in the Truist Championship in the build-up. So Tommy Fleetwood, always a good each way bet, I think. And yeah, there's some people who've had too much sort of scar tissue with him and thought, I can't keep backing him. But what is he, 40s?
He is best price of 45.
Yeah, so it's not like we're backing him at 25s. That's a working man's each way price, 45 to 1. So Tommy Fleetwood could definitely give you a run for your money there. And again, he's got a chance for top European outright as well. But yeah, if you want a bit of value in top European, maybe Fleetwood's your man.
Can I take your Tommy Fleetwood and raise you Shane Lowry?
I mean, you can.
I think he's playing really well at the moment.
Yeah.
And I think he will be a little bit inspired by his mate Rory's success at the Masters. He might just refuel the fires within if they needed refueling. He's a best price of 50s ahead of the USPGA. He's been playing golf. I mean, obviously we haven't got quite to the end of this tournament that's going on at the moment. He's been playing quite good golf in the current tournament, and I think it looks quite good at the moment.
Well, yeah, as we sit here now, he's leading it, isn't he? So he could have a big win. Obviously, we've got the Open Championship at Royal Portrush coming up where he won last time, and could he win there again? Or
he's going to, at Royal Portrush though, he's going to get all the Rory questions, isn't he?
Yeah, because last time he kind of had a free run at it, didn't he?
I'd hardly heard of him before he won that. So I have to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, but
you're the golf man. I'm more.
Yeah, but he was like 66 to 1. He was kind of, he's local, but this is Rory's week, but no Shane Lowry came through. You're right. Sometimes you get this thing where there's so much, people are sort of paired up, right? Shane Lowry Open Championship this year because it's at Portrush, and everyone's kind of expecting that to happen, and then he kind of wins before he should, and wins the one before then. So yeah, he's got a chance, Shane Lowry. As you say, it was clear that he was so pleased that Rory won, and I think he took some inspiration because he struggled to get wins, and Rory doing the same in majors. It's kind of, I think Rory taught him, if you just keep putting yourself there, the door will open. So yeah,
that was one of my favourite moments, DT, the Masters. Obviously, there was the moment where Rory took the putt putt and sank to his knees. But after that long walk,
Yeah, he was
big
there.
bear hug with Shane Lowry he's made. I mean, they
delighted.
spend a lot of time together. They are proper mates. They're not just people that play golf that kind of see each other now and again. They socialise together. They families mix together.
Yeah.
They basically love each other. They're kind of almost best mates. So I can see Shane Lowry being inspired. Shane Lowry at 50-1, but your pick Tommy Fleetwood 45s.
Yeah, I think Tommy Fleetwood for top European, just a bit of value, I think, in that market when we get the prices.
Yeah, obviously those prices I've just given you for them to
For the outright, yeah. I mean, they're valid in those as well, but yeah, funny, Tommy Fleetwood, I think he's just a bit under the radar again. I think he's, flavour of the month has gone to other players for a while, and maybe that'll help Tommy Fleetwood, because the Tommy Fleetwood will he win on American soil stories, I don't know, it's not the big story in town. It's kind of a side story. So maybe he'll sneak through.
haven't got the price as yet for the top European, so that'll come as we go through the week. As I say, we're recording this on a Sunday, so that will populate on your various preferred betting establishments as we go through the week. We have success at the Masters with DT's first round leader pick. He picked Justin Rose, who's around about 70-1 to be top of the pile come the end of 18 holes. And sure enough, he was. And I was very happy with that pick as well, because I backed that too. In terms of USPGA then, DT, can we go again? Who are we going to have to be ahead at the end of Thursday?
Yeah, there's an interesting little angle this week, because we've got PGA Championship first round leader form. We've also got Quail Hollow first round leader form. And if you look at the last 5 or 6 winners, the same names crop up.
Okay, well that's...
Yeah. So the PGA, the last 6 first round leaders at the PGA Championship, all big names, which may be a clue to where the winner will come again this time. We've got Schauffele, de Chambeau, McIlroy, Corey Connors, maybe the one who's not quite as big, Day, and Koepka. Then the first round leaders at Quail Hollow, Schauffele again, Fleetwood, Day again, Mickelson and McIlroy again. So you've got 3 players who've got first round leader history at the PGA Championship and at Quail Hollow. Schauffele, McIlroy, who are going to be short enough, but maybe Jason Day could be an interesting one, because he's at that first round leader position, 18 hole.
He played well at the Masters.
He did, yeah. He's played well this year, so he could. I mean, we don't know tee times. We don't know whether there's going to be a weather bias at this stage. But I think Jason Day, he would be my pick at this stage to be first round leader, a bit of value.
Jason Day on Thursday.
Yes.
Okay, we're nearly at the end of this preview of the USPGA Championship. Basically, the only question remaining is there anybody that we haven't mentioned? Anybody else of interest, DT?
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of players a lot of bettors who want some each-way value. It might just, a lot of bookies will offer 10 places, 8 to 10 places, even 12 sometimes. So you want a player, you think, he might not win, but could he sneak into a place at a big price? I've got 3 for you, all Americans. I'll do the one that you'll comment on later, because you picked him at the Masters. But Keith Mitchell, who's had a great first round lead, he's another first round leader possibility. Brilliant first round leader.
You don't get many Keiths these days, do you?
You don't, no. In life.
No, just generally.
Not just golf. But Keith Mitchell's played a lot of good golf. The problem with him, he can't finish it off. Starts brilliantly, in fact, but can't get over the line. But he could sneak 10th, 12th, which could get you an each-way payout. Denny McCarthy has got good course form here. He's got a 6th and an 8th in the last couple of years. So he's someone I think he'll be under the radar, because he's not a big hitter, beautiful putter, but I think people will go, well, he's too short for this. But he could sneak into a place. And the other one, I think that'll be of interest to you, because I wrote him off. I thought, well, he's completely gone at the game. Max Homa.
Okay.
Max Homa.
He did be proud at the Masters.
He did, but at this course, he's got a win in 2019 and 8th the last 2 years. So Max Homa is a course specialist. He's come back to form. You took a punt on him in the Masters, and he did well. He's playing well in the Truist Championship. And again, I just think he's an outsider who could sneak in here, because it would be obvious if he did, because he's got the course form. He's just rebuilding that confidence again, but it's coming.
Thing is, as well, I always think this, in most sports, the very top end of the world in various sports. There's not a lot between them.
No.
It's about what's inside the head. It's about very small things. And if Max Homa builds on his obvious improvements at the Masters, which was the first cut he'd made for about 58 years, wasn't it? It was ridiculous. It was a long time. But if he builds on that, he's still a good player. Yeah, Max Homa at his best is a really entertaining, good player.
He's a great player. Yeah, he had a spell where he was winning lots of PGA Tour titles on good courses, and including this one. So, yeah, there's no secret if he plays well here. He's kind of dropping hints. Course form is absolutely there to see, and just that return to form, which, as you say, you can't put a price on what goes on in here.
Yeah,
and if that's all that it's taking, yeah, he could be a danger man.
One last name just to throw into the mix before we say goodbye to our lovely late tea time podders. Justin Rose. Now, Justin Rose has been up there at the top end of majors in recent times. He was obviously nearly the Masters champion and beaten by Rory in the playoff. But his record of late is exceptional. Loads of seconds, unfortunately for him, but he hasn't got the trophy. But he's 100-to-1 best price ahead of the USPGA. I think he's the sort of person that won't go away with his tail between his legs. I think he's genuinely thinking at his ripe old age of 40, what is he, 55 or 44 or something? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyways, he's up there. I think he's actually genuinely thinking, this is my kind of swan song, that I'm going to have a bit of a dash of these majors. And I think he'll take a lot of positives from the Masters, and he won't sulk. He'll come back keen to win.
Yeah, he's certainly building the rest of his career around what he can do in the majors. I just slightly feel that to have gone so close at the Masters, it's asking a lot for him to pop up in the very next one. I'm kind of if you follow the rhythms of golfers, I might just expect him to just have a little lull and maybe kick back in, maybe in the summer, maybe for the Open Championship. So he wouldn't be one for me now, but I know what you're saying. That 100-to-1. It's a big price on a guy who's proven himself only last month.
Yeah, the prices I've given you throughout this podcast have been to win the thing, because some of the markets are not available yet as we record on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to this. Majors, they're just fantastic, aren't they? I've put a line through 4 days, although it's glorious weather in the UK. What time does it start? What's the time?
Well, it's East Coast, so it's 5 hours, isn't it? North Carolina, so not too bad.
All right, okay. So I can have a bit of a wander out in the sunshine before
you can. Yes.
Good. Anyway, good luck with all of your bets. Gamble responsibly, Late Tea Time pullers. Have a look at our website, lateteatimepod.com. Follow us on Twitter, or X as it's called these days, at Late Tea Time Pod. And DT, thank you very much.
Thank you, James.
Good luck with all your bets. Gamble responsibly, and we'll see you again soon.